Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. So, we as Group 7 will present to you in this video about our topic, which is a comparison study between 11 Malaysian plan RMK11 and 12 plan RMK12 from macroeconomics perspective. For the introduction part, it will be explained by me, myself, Aiman Hazik bin Muhammad, and Abu Ayub bin Abdul Ghaffar. While for the key people is gonna be Nur Farah Hanis binti Rosli, Muhammad Syahril bin Jamsuri, Fatin Nur Syafiqah binti Nurul Azmi, and Muhammad Fadil bin Roslan. And for the conclusion part will be Muhammad Zarfan Mirza bin Mustafa. Our table of contents consists of introduction, the impact on well-being, the impact to low and middle income groups, the impact on specific sectors, the impact on environment, and the last one is conclusion. Okay, let's start with the introduction to RMK11, or known as Rancangan Malaysia ke-11. For the general intro, RMK11 is Malaysia's 5-year development plan for achieving the objectives of Vision 2020. RMK11 Vision is to be a crucial venue for the government's attempts to implement the shift development policy and establish strategies to deal with several brand new difficulties that are present. And for the RMK11 goals is to reinforce the government's dedication in raising standards of living, human dignity, and potential who will benefit from economic progress. There are 6 RMK11 thrusts, which is the first one is strengthening inclusivity for a just society. Secondly, improving well-being for all. Thirdly, accelerate human capital development for developed countries. Fourthly, heading towards green growth to increase sustainability and resilience. And fifthly, strengthening infrastructure to support economic growth. And sixthly, designing economic growth for increased prosperity. And there is also stated in the RMK11 about drivers of change proposal. 4 of the drivers of change proposal is critical to be developed countries, which is the first one is improving productivity potential, and the second one is improving the standard of B40 households towards society middle class, and the third one is enabling technical education and training and industry-led vocational, which is TVET, and the fourth one is implement green growth.
Moving on from RMK11, we will now be going into RMK12. So RMK12 is constructed based on 3 themes. The first theme being reviving the economy. As we all know, COVID-19 has left a horrible impact towards economies all over the world. So the first step that we should take is by restoring the momentum of economic growth. One of the ways to do this is to promote SMEs, or also known as small and medium enterprises. By doing this, it will hopefully increase SME participation and also enhance entrepreneurial capacity. And the second theme would be to strengthen security, welfare, and inclusiveness within the country. One of the ways to strengthen security is by strengthening our national defense. By doing this, the citizens of Malaysia will be a lot more secure and will feel a lot more safe and happier. The next step is to amplify our preparedness against various diseases and to also expand healthcare coverage. As we all know, we were not prepared at all for the effects of COVID-19. So these steps are showing that we are learning from our mistakes and we are trying our best to increase welfare within the country. So the third theme would be to boost sustainability. One of the ways that we can do to boost sustainability is by normalizing sustainable lifestyle practices such as recycling. And a lot of countries in like Europe and America, they promote this slogan of "Save the Turtles," which means that they use less plastic straws, and also they promote recycling a lot more. Another way to boost sustainability is by decreasing carbon dioxide output. So climate change is one of the hottest topics at the moment. As we all know, there was a time where scientists were protesting and were showing that they were showing their emotions towards the climate change and saying we should drastically try to reduce carbon dioxide output. So this should be done in Malaysia as well. And the third one would be to increase production of green plants. So this pretty much means that we need to plant more trees or maybe have a garden by our home. Another way is to also decrease deforestation. To achieve those themes that were mentioned in the last slide, RMK12 have put together four main courses of action that will be optimal towards obtaining those goals. The first main course of action is to focus effort towards developing future talents. By doing this, we will be producing more capable workers and a lot more highly skilled labor. The next thing to do is to focus effort towards accelerating the adaptation of technology and innovation. If the government were to implement the most advanced and latest technology towards multiple sectors across the economy, then this will absolutely help with boosting productivity and also Malaysia's GDP, also known as gross domestic product. The third main course of action is to improve transport connectivity and infrastructure. So by improving transport connectivity, this will help workers with things like reaching their destination in time, and also would be a lot less expensive than having your own vehicle. Improving transport connectivity would also help with reducing carbon dioxide output because public transport means that a lot of people will be sharing the same vehicle and not use so much carbon dioxide. And the fourth and last main course of action is to enhance public service. So this can be done generally towards achieving all the themes mentioned before by, let's say, the government providing a lot of public service towards the country, and also us as Malaysian citizens should also help with providing public service.
So, for the first theme is about the impact on human well-being. Here, we will explore how the 12th plan and also the progress of 11th plan in achieving these three main points, which are strengthening the security, well-being, and lastly, inclusivity. So firstly, the enhancing healthcare services, which the government aims to expand access to quality and affordable healthcare through digitizing healthcare service and fostering collaboration with the private sector. A healthcare system reform blueprint will be introduced. Next, the increasing supply of affordable housing, which government has allocated RM2.25 billion to provide affordable housing. The construction of affordable house will be made a priority in the development of new townships, and access to finances will be expanded. Then, for the addressing poverty and narrowing inequality, which in addressing hardcore poverty, new initiatives will be introduced. For example, exploring the possibility of a dedicated tax to finance poverty alleviations, establishing dedicated poverty units, and integrating and centralizing a database on poverty. Subsequently, for the optimizing regional economic potential, the RMK12 looks to bridge the national development gap and will work optimizing regional economic potential, developing sustainable cities, and transforming rural areas. Initiative will focus on acceleration development based on key growth nodes and hotspots areas, attracting quality investment and improving the business ecosystem. Lastly, developing future talent with equitable compensation, which the human capital development is a strong driver of social mobility with the potential to improve the income of B40 and narrow the income inequality gap. Even though various initiatives were undertaken under RMK11, the labour market and the education sector continue to face some key challenges. Moving forward, the RMK12 will focus on developing future talent by reorganizing the labour market and further improving the quality of education. For the performance of both plans during the 11th plan, focus was given to strengthening national defense and enhancing national security, well-being, and unity of the rakyat. Measures were focused on improving public safety and security, enhancing healthcare service delivery, providing adequate and quality affordable housing, promoting an active lifestyle, and fostering national unity. Nevertheless, there are still several issues and challenges related to security and public safety, health, housing, sports, and unity that need to be addressed. In the 12th plan, efforts will be intensified to strengthen national defense and security. The well-being and unity of the rakyat will be enhanced through improving healthcare service delivery, as well as increasing the supply of quality, affordable housing. Sports will be leveraged in building an active nation, while unity will further be given priority in building a unit and prosperous nation, as well as contribute to nation building.
Next, we move on to the second theme, which is the impact to low and middle income groups. One of the reasons both the 11 Malaysia Plan and 12 Malaysia Plan are drafted are to tackle poverty and inclusion in achieving a decent standard of living and maintain welfare among citizens. Several initiatives were undertaken in achieving these two plans. During the 11 Malaysia Plan, the government aims to bridge income inequality and increase income for the low-income group. The government targets the average income of B40 households to increase from about 2,500 ringgit per month in 2014 to more than 5,000 ringgit per month in 2020. Hence, the government takes intensive efforts such as bridging the education and skill achievement gap, as well as increasing productivity. The entrepreneurship support program will be improved for those who are interested in doing business, especially for micro and small enterprises. Next, initiatives such as the establishment of One Malaysia premises, for example, One Malaysia Clinic, One Malaysia People's Menu, One Malaysia People's Shop, One Malaysia Cloth Shop, and One Malaysia People's Agro Bazaar Shop were implemented throughout Malaysia in order to alleviate the cost of living burden of B40 households. Lastly, the private sector, especially multinational companies and large local companies, are urged to locate their business premises or factories in the majority area of B40 population in order to contribute to the development of this group. Therefore, the government intends for the middle class group, which now classified as M40, to be increased in size from 40% in 2015 to 45% by 2020. However, Malaysia failed to reach the target in the 11 Malaysia Plan based on the Household Income Survey 2019, and the B40 group that should be given more focus by the government is lagging behind in the development of this country. This is because the increase in household income in Malaysia is lower compared to previous years. The rich, on the other hand, seem to be reaping greater benefits in recent times, as well as widening the inequality gap in Malaysia. This failure resulted from poor implementation and lack of effectiveness. By comparison, the 12th Major Plan was launched at a time when the world economy was fading due to the effects of COVID-19. So many people have been affected and have shifted from the M40 to B40 category. More concerted efforts will be made to increase income and address the rising cost of living of B40s as well as other vulnerable groups in accordance with the principle that no one is left behind. One of the initiatives to be implemented by the government is to build 500,000 units of affordable housing to increase the chance of the B40 and M40 groups to own home. Moreover, financing facilities including the Fund for Affordable Housing, Youth Housing Scheme, and Rent-to-Own RTO program will be further improved to ensure that the B40 and M40 groups are not burdened with installment payments. Targeted assistance, such as cash grants and social protection, will be extended to those who are eligible. Furthermore, the Urban Community Economic Empowerment Program and the Rural People's Wellbeing Development Scheme will be strengthened to enhance the marketability, well-being, and purchasing power of B40 families. In terms of education, more students from B40 families will be given priority for admission to high-performing schools and scholarships. Meanwhile, for M40 children, they will be ensured to have access to quality education at an affordable cost. In terms of health, access to healthcare will be expanded. This is because the issue of malnutrition and growth among children from B40 families is increasing. So the issue will be addressed comprehensively, including through nutritious food. Last but not least, training programs and skills training, as well as entrepreneurial activities, will be enhanced to increase the capacities, skills, and job-seeking competitiveness of the M40 group. Therefore, the 12th Major Plan has the potential to revive the country's economy and ease the burden of low and middle-income groups. These groups will have better access to quality education and training, efficient infrastructure and basic facilities, better jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities, as well as wealth ownership.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Syarif bin Jamsuri. My metric number is 121232. Today I will present about the impact on specific sectors based on layout of 11 and 12 Malaysia Plan. Lots of initiative and action are taken to ensure sectors in our country on par with sectors in other developed countries. These actions are also needed so that the people in our country can grow and well develop, and this will improve our standard of living. In 11th Malaysia Plan, our government drafted to produce more high-skilled labours in the industry. The government decided to transform technical and vocational educational and training (TVET) to fulfill the request for high-skilled labours in the industry by having better management for TVET and empowering quality TVET programs to improve graduate marketability in the industry. This plan recorded success when the government achieved 225,000 number of intakes SPM graduates to TVET per year compared to 164,000 per year in 2013. Next, the government drafted to strengthen infrastructure to support economic growth. There were several initiatives to make this draft happen. One of them was government decided to develop an integrated transportation system based on needs by reconditioning the level of safety, efficiency, and service of transport operations. This was proven when 3,000 kilometers of rural routes have been paved and it is safe for being used by all people. Next, the government agreed to upgrade the quality of education to improve students and institutions' excellence by enhancing the quality of graduates involved in research for doing innovation. Also, Malaysia aimed to be at least equivalent to the international average in program for international student assessment, which is PISA, and trends in international mathematics and science study teams assessment. This plan recorded success when Form 2 Malaysian student, obtained scores above 700 in the mathematics in the TIMSS exam in 2019. All of this evidence showed that the 11th Malaysia Plan recorded success in improving education sector in this country. 12th Malaysia Plan was drafted when our country and other countries throughout the world had been affected by COVID-19 pandemic, and that was clear enough that our government planned to fix the economy and all sectors that were affected. Tourism was one of the sectors that was badly affected during COVID-19 pandemic because people are not allowed cross international borders. Because of that, our government had arranged strategies to revive the tourism industry by ensuring the better quality of product and services and strengthening the Malaysia brands and promotions. This will result in a large amount of tourists will choose Malaysia as a travel destination. Next, the COVID-19 pandemic proved the importance of the country having a strong healthcare sector, and there is a need to use a nationwide approach to ensure greater management of epidemics and healthcare crisis in the future. Nevertheless, our government is not only concerned about sectors that are badly affected by COVID-19 pandemic, but also for other sectors such as public service sector. The government will increase further performance-based culture in the civil service, as well strengthen the mechanism for the selection of top management officers. As a conclusion, the government hope that this drafted plan will achieve their target and having better economy and sectors.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Fadil bin Roslan. My number matric is 121228. I'm from Group 7. Today I will talk about Team 4, that is the impact on environment. as we know, rapid development is very important to be a benchmark of a country progress. We can see that many skyscrapers are built in Kuala Lumpur, and the latest one is the PNB 118. But the impact of unbalanced construction will cause adverse effect of the environment. So we will talk about how government want to solve the problem. So basically, there are 4 outcomes that expected by 11 Malaysia plans. Firstly, government want to lessen negative effect of socio-economic. Second, they want the natural resource evaluated and maintained sustainably. Third, outcome of development is protect, hence the well-being of the people, which is better for each generation. And the last outcome is they want renewable energy is frequently employed. So we go to the next part, that is transformation in RMK11. What's transformation the government want to make? It is firstly quantity growth that account environment and source of country. Second, use of waste recycling and also energy generation. Third, sharing of responsibility, because government want to reduce their burden, so they want make the environment is responsibility of all of us. Fourth, use of the resource that energy efficient, because as we know, if we waste energy, it will stress our environment. So we go to the next part, that is RMK12. So RMK12 is same as RMK11. It is the continuity of RMK11. So firstly, in RMK12, government want focusing on nationwide transition that appreciate national treasure. Second, biodiversity loss and policy implementation will be addressed. Third, government will accepting the use of cyclical economics. And lastly, government want to create new opportunities for green growth. So maybe in RMK12, they want to improve on RMK11.
So now, I want to conclude for what 11 RMK and 12 RMK will affect our country in macroeconomic perspectives. Firstly, the plan will be intensified to accredit local platforms based on international sharing economy industry standards to secure the safety of platform providers, staffs and users. A regulatory framework is being created. Furthermore, concerted efforts will be implemented to increase income and address the rising cost of living of B40 households as well as vulnerable groups. Targeted aid will still be given to individuals who qualify, such as cash transfers and social security. Presently, there are several perspectives on poverty except financial ones. Nevertheless, the growth of the service sector will be supported by a modernization strategy for the country to become a regional services hub. To further entice high-quality investment, clear laws and regulations will be implemented together with a supportive business climate. Governments have concentrated their efforts over the last 18 months on safeguarding people's lives and means of subsistence. It is now time for the government to concentrate on its plans for restructuring and regaining the competitiveness and strength of the Malaysian economy.